How's it going, rednecks? I just got back from a Gambler 500 trip in the 01 Tahoe back there that I have $142 into. That was the tip of the mitt double dipping. And the truck performed great. The front diff was making a little bit of noise, but that's not the issue I'm having right now. I ended up getting home and I went to start this the next day to offload all my crap here. And the truck was stuck in third gear. Now this is pretty new to me. I've never had a vehicle do that. So I'm going to start by pulling some codes on this thing, see what we got going on, and then we'll try to figure out what's going on with it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is plug in our scan tool. And we're going to put the key in the ignition, turn the truck to the run position, and we're going to scan it for codes. So we got a Solenoid B electrical, and that is a p0758. That's one of our shift solenoids. And we have another one, p0758, and that one's pending. The other one's current. So with the two current codes we have, one pending and one current, it was a p0758 shift solenoid B electrical circuit malfunction. So what do you say we go down and disconnect the transmission plug, and then I'm going to plug in a harness I had made a long time ago, and we're going to ohm out the shift solenoid and see if it's bad. So underneath the truck, this is the transmission harness. I'm on the passenger side, and I've already went ahead and removed this side shield right here. There's two 10mm bolts. You can see the holes they came out of. One's right there, and the other one's right there. So what do you say we get to disconnecting our little plug-in right there? All I got to do is squeeze the sides and pull it up. With the plug end off, I kind of visually inspected it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. So what I'm going to do is I have another one of these right there that I'm going to get plugged in, and then we're going to ohm out my solenoid. So here's the harness that I had made a long time ago, and if you make note, I have the A solenoid and B solenoid, and these are ground side controlled by the computer. One is a green wire, the other one is yellow with a black stripe, and then you have your key on or ignition power. So power goes to the solenoid, and then the computer will ground out these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a voltmeter, and I'm going to have it on 200k ohm, and I'm going to plug in one to the power. Then I'm going to take the other end, I'm going to put it on my yellow and black, and that's for B, and then I'm going to turn this guy on. When I plug this thing in, I should be getting around 22 ohms. So what do you say we get this thing plugged in and see what that sensor or that solenoid reads? Well, it looks like we're getting about 7.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to solenoid A and see what that one's reading. So there you go, solenoid A is reading around 21.4, and that's about what we're supposed to be seeing. We're supposed to be seeing about 22, which tells me that solenoid B is bad. So the next step is I'm going to have to drain the transmission fluid, and then I got to pull the pan down, because the solenoid is actually right around right there. So what do you say we pump the fluid out of this thing, get the pan pulled, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know how much pumping that thing out is going to make a difference. I've never done that before, but unfortunately my drain plug is stripped here, and that makes it a lot easier if you can drain the fluid, because when you go to remove all these screws, a lot of fluid's going to want to come out around the base here, and I don't want that. So we'll see if that little pump thing helps out, but next thing you're going to need is a 13mm socket, and you're going to want to gun all these bolts loose. Alright, with the transmission pan off, you can see our shift solenoid A, which is our 1-2 shift, and shift solenoid B, which is our 2-3. So we got to get that guy removed. So it's going to be hard for me to set up a camera to show you how to remove these. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to unclip them. So that would be our B. And I'm going to remove A as well, just so we can test them both outside the vehicle. So you're going to unplug them both. And then if you take a look, try to zoom in here, there is a clip right there. You're going to have to pop out, and there's another one right there on the A, and you're just going to pop them out, and then these things are going to actually pull right out towards the back of the vehicle. I'll see if I can get a camera on it. If not, I will see you in the house once I get these things removed. Alright, hopefully my camera stays. So this is going to be the solenoid we're after. I'm going to take my pick. We're going to get on that guy right there. Try and pop it down, and we lost it. It's on the ground somewhere. So, word of advice, keep an eye on those suckers. Now we're going to try and pry it off. Shouldn't take too much. There's just little O-rings that hold these things on, and there we go. That would be your shift solenoid B. And I'm going to try to remove A, and we'll try and keep the clip in sight this time. There we go. This one might have a spring behind it. So that's our clip right there. And we got to try and pry our solenoid out, and there it goes. And there's solenoid A. So here's the two solenoids and one of the clips. And after searching forever, I found the other one. It made it all the way up here. So there we go. We have both our clips and both our solenoids. So let's take these things in the house and get them tested. Alright, rednecks, here in the house I can kind of show you a better idea of what's going on here. This is shift solenoid A and B hooked up to a spare transmission harness. This is what goes inside your transmission, and this is the plug-in that comes out of the casing. And I have my little test lead hooked up, and I have the leads going from the voltmeter here. I have one hooked up to power, and the other one we're going to be going between the A and B negative solenoid that's controlled by the computer. And then we're going to be checking the resistance in the solenoids using our voltmeter and ohms. So let me get you guys set up on a tripod, and then we'll show the voltage or the resistance between the solenoids A and B. So first things first is we're going to want to turn on our meter. We got it set to 200 ohms. We're going to test our leads by touching them off onto each other. It looks like we got about 0.6, that's fine. Now the first thing we're going to do is test A. It looks like we have about 21.8. So if I disconnect it, that should open the lead up. We'll connect it back in. 21.8. So that one seems to be good. They say about 20 to 22. So let's take our lead here and hook it onto B. And there you go. That is our bad one. B is sitting at 6.6. Disconnect it. Plug it back in. 7.7. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with this one. So now before we go saying that is bad, what if we take A, plug it in? We should get about the same reading. Yep. So that would tell us that all of our wires in this harness are good. And this is our bad solenoid. Now that we know one of these are bad and one of these are good, I gotta say, typically what you would do is you would replace them both. You don't want to just replace one at a time, considering if one's gone bad, the other one's possibly not far behind. Now I don't think this is what they had in mind. I think for your vehicle, or if you have something you want reliable, I would get some new ones. But for me, I went to LKQ and I got 2 used ones. So what do you say we plug those things in? We'll put them on the harness here and we'll check the ohm rating on them. So this is solenoid A right here. That one's getting a solid 22.2. And we'll do solenoid B, which looks like about 22.3. So I feel a lot better about these ones. Well, I gotta say, that looks a lot more promising than these two. So what do you say we get these installed? And before I do that, I do want to point out there is a way to test these on the back. It's hard to get to the plugins in the front. You can technically ohm them out through here. You don't need to do it on a harness, but yeah, let's get these two installed on the Tahoe. Alright rednecks, it's the moment of truth. As you've seen, I cleared all the codes. I installed the old transmission fluid. Don't Dutch out on me. I just want to keep this thing all original. But yeah, that's definitely the reason for reusing the old transmission fluid. But without further ado, let's start this thing. Let's check for trouble codes and see if we fix the problem. Alright, that's looking pretty promising. Before, I'd fire this thing up and I'd have a code right away. So what do you say we pull this thing off the floor jacks and we go take it for a test drive. Man, oh man, rednecks, I'm pretty happy for it being such a simple fix. That didn't take very long at all. And if you take a look, the only code I have is for exhaust gas recirculation. And I did away with the EGR a while ago. I did remove the catalytic converters, and I don't know why it's not throwing a code for that. I'm sure it will here in a little bit. But other than that, last thing I need to do is go under the hood, check the transmission fluid level, and we should be good to go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and get back to work. See anything wrong in this picture? Oh boy, would that have been a ride. Somebody forgot to latch the hood.